Have you ever heard of somebody mentioning a terminology called an aura? Perhaps you've heard them describing it as being different colours around the human form. Well, that's exactly what you will see when you look into one's psyche. Each and every one of you have a low frequency energy irradiating all around you as you are watching this video now. And you might be thinking, well, actually, where's that coming from? It's coming from the electrical impulses from the beating heart. In this episode, we are going to be taking a deep dive into the auric field. I believe this is class number 9 of how to become a psychic medium. A series in which I will guarantee each and every one of you, if you watch these videos to the very, very end and you absorb all of that juicy content, I will make you a medium. You can't skip parts. If you're new here, my name is Psychic Medium Jordan Corbin, and I can prove with evidence, my friends, of the afterlife. I've helped thousands of people on this earthplane to once again be able to reach out and contact their loved ones in spirit from the understandings and the teachings. And now it's your turn. Each and every one of you can become great mediums. And here at Help Heal Serve, we can give you the very foundations to build, engage, and nourish your own unique understanding with the spirit world. Not to mention, we have the loving and supporting Help Heal Serve family. We also have our very own chat platform now where each and every one of you can come join, have a little bit of a chat, a chill with each and every one of the family members and learn from it. I'm not on there as much, granted, but I didn't set it up for me to be able to talk to people. I wanted you as a community to be able to talk to one another. That's what I put it there for. Anyway, remember to, if you do enjoy this video, to smash that like button. Also, to let me know down in the comment section if you enjoyed this video, if you hated this video. Anything is better than no comment. What you'll find is when we get comments, you see the videos get pushed because it shows that there is getting engagement on the videos. And remember, it's one of those things where if you think I've missed something in the video, then let me know down in the comments also, and I'll be sure to do a follow-up video. However, remember, this series is going to run over a span of 200 videos. If I've missed something in here, it will be deliberate, so I can bring it up at a later date when we do a fuller explanation on a different topic. You've got to remember, this is going to be one of the biggest series on YouTube, and it's going to be, I've got to make sure that I'm doing everything. This needs to be a one-stop shop, baby, where anyone can just literally click on, learn mediumship in their own pace, at their own time, free of charge. When we're speaking about the auric field, it seems a little bit crazy, doesn't it, to have an energy force field all around it. But, as scientists would suggest, where else has an energy force field all around it? Give you a couple of seconds. Planet Earth. Planet Earth has what we call an ozone layer. It's a protective layer that keeps harmful rays from outer space from impeding on human civilization. If it wasn't there, would be in deep, deep trouble. Now that we can see that, well, actually, hang on, it's a little bit more plausible because we actually already scientifically know of one. Come to the human form. Each and every one of you now, around your entire being, have what we call an aura. Contained within this aura, you will have various different colors, depending on what stages of your spiritual evolution you are at, depending on the mood you're in. It will change on a daily basis. For any of you who are wanting to learn auras, if you look around me, you will see a white aura. Now, it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult in the setting I'm in because, I mean, I've got like, when you're looking, you can see like white, but that's literally a light behind us. That's not my aura. But if I was stood against a white wall, which is what I'm going to come to later in this section, so you can learn to start seeing auras. If I was stood against a white wall and I was looking at my aura or looking at somebody else's aura, you would see, following the silhouette of the human frame, protruding out around about that distance, I'm going to say 6 centimeters, you will see energy. A lot of people don't see it, right? And you've got a reason why. it's clairvoyance. Not a lot of people can see energy. Whilst you all have the abilities, that doesn't mean to say that you can see it. You get what I'm saying? You all have the abilities to be able to see it, but because through your understanding, through your knowledge gaps, through the fear suppression that you've put in place, but through mankind's notions of theories, you won't see energy because you've been told that it's not there. Therefore, you will in before anyone says, well, couldn't you just be telling yourself it's there and tricking yourself? Well, when you can actually see auras around people and you can tell them more about what's going on in their world than what they can, it's evidence, my friend. Yes, one could argue if you don't know what you're doing, you could be psychically reading the individual. Yeah, you could argue that is a very good argument. But if you have it where you're speaking about people who have good understandings here, good understandings don't allow that little bit of foul play to take place because you know the difference. Auric field encompasses the human form, but it also has another key role. A lot of you will remember this from the video I think that we've done on the soul already, and if we haven't, we're going to be doing it. I really can't remember. Contained within the auric field is like, I call the auric field a prison, right? Spirit hate me saying it and they despise it, but I liken it because it helps the everyday person to understand the restrictions, I'll get my words out, of what it's there to do. If you think of it, right, you've got you've got the soul. The soul is the energy part of you that sits within the stomach area of all living beings. All living beings sits there. Like a little snitch, it's going to telltale on you when you go back into the spirit world. You do not get away with nothing, my friends. Nothing. That being said, if your soul, because it's naturally energy, your soul will actively try to leave the confines of the human form. If that does, game over. End of. You cease to exist in the materialistic plane. Therefore, we have to have a mechanism in place to stop that from happening, don't we? Now, you know why we have an auric field. Because the soul, let's get me prop, the soul, scarlet, which sits at the stomach area of all living beings, if you think about this now, what's going to happen if the soul, if I didn't have an auric field, watch where the soul's going. It's gone back to energy. Game over. Unfortunately, we need an auric field. The auric field, as long as the heart is beating, and as long as there is an electrical rhythm within the heart, which is generating that low frequency. Remember when I say it's low frequency? So it's one of those things where it doesn't take a lot of you when you're thinking of things of energy in that respect. You think of things to power batteries and things in the materialistic. Remember, we're talking about energy here. We're talking about how the human form works and how it functions. When it hits off the barrier of the auric field, it knows it's not going to get anywhere. It literally, in those moments, knows that it is pointless. It's pointless to even try. It's quite naughty when you think of it because it wants to get the spirit. It's like a magnet. You know, when you put the opposing ends of a magnet in it, the magnet forces away from each other. Well, that's what's happening when the auric field's up. The soul's trying to jump out. And it's like, no, get back in. You're not going nowhere. Jordan's still got a lot longer to live. You're not going nowhere. Because the soul, believe it or not, right? I don't know why I'm pointing my crystal ball. I know I use the cross. The soul can't wait to get home. Because the soul knows energy. The soul communicates with energy. You as a human being, you will communicate with energy and bring forward evidence and you will be able to do. But where do you think you've had your intuition from all of this time? When you knew something was going to go wrong, yes, you may have been using claircognizance, but I'm on about your intuition, your gut instincts, your feelings. When you know something that is about to take place that is wrong, something tells you instantly. You get that from your soul, my friend. Your soul is effectively, if you can think of it like this, your soul is a backseat driver. And this is the drive of your life. You are at the helm. You've got that wheel and clinging on. You've got both hands on the steering wheel and you're navigating through the tribulations. You're going to turn left to take the new job. You're going to turn right to find a new partner. You've got all of these little things you're going on. And the soul's in the back going, well, do you think the new job's what you need at this moment in time? And you're just about to turn that wheel. You're just about to turn. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm going to do what I want to do, actually. I'm going for a new partner. And this is the reality of the world that we live in. Each and every one of you have the ability and the right to free will. Therefore, when we are thinking about the soul in the auric field, each and every one of you have an aura. You've got to have an aura. There is only one time when your soul is given effectively a hall pass where it is allowed to leave the human form. This is through astral traveling. What happens there is your soul is effectively told by yourself, you can go, my friend. You won't die in those moments because it is an agreement between the soul and the human form. You are in a relaxed state. Your brain is keeping you alive. You're in a meditative state. Everything's functioning as it should. And the soul is effectively allowed to sneak out of the body and to go traveling, to go and do different things. You haven't died. To any one of you who want to do astral traveling, it is amazing. Believe me, it's amazing. I would recommend you all to do it. But this is the only way, in a planned way, you can allow in space system your soul to leave the human form. That being said, now that we've covered that, the auric field plays a vital role in your personal journey. Very much like planet Earth keeps harmful rays from outer space out of the planet, your auric field will maintain and keep all of your emotions within that auric field, but also it will keep other people's out unless you allow them to impede on your world. Think of it like a bubble. Think of like I've got a bubble all around me now, and if there was somebody sat next to me, we would be impeding on each other's bubble. Therefore, we have made this happen. I'm responsible for that bubble. Therefore, me being me, I would remove myself further along the seating area. So my bubble and their bubble isn't intertwined. I don't need to know any of their information. When you are working psychically, what will happen is a well-trained psychic, somebody like, I'll take myself for an example here, because I can prove with evidence, I can't just say things. I can look at somebody and I can know straight away how they're feeling. I can also use different clairsenses, clair abilities to know if there's problems, what's coming our way. I can even tell you what they're going to be doing later on in that day. I had loads of mad examples of it. But one of the things that each and every one of you need to remember, the auric field does its job. It's very, very, very good at its job. And knowing and understanding and appreciating the auric field is very important, because when we come later on in the videos to the extrasensory perceptions, I'm going to give you an example now which you're going to need to reference for these videos. When you think of extrasensory perceptions and we're using clairaudience, you're using clairsentience, clairempathy, clairsentience, I've already said that one, Spirit I was saying, claircognizance, we've got loads of different clairs anyway. This isn't a video for the clairs, but as an example, what I would like you all to do now is when we are using, for example, in a psychic capacity or a mediumship capacity, think of a big bubble. Big bubble all around me now. And within this bubble, you can now see white light. Big white bubble. Big fat white bubble. Within that now, think of lots of little tentacle-like fingers coming out. I know it looks freaking weird, but these are what you have. These are your extrasensory perceptions. This is why you will find a lot of Shaolin monks and a lot of people who do extreme sports fighting. They will go into dark rooms and they can't see when they are about to be attacked, and they've got to defend. And this isn't just the movies. This is what they actually do. Why did they do this? Very simple. In the same instance that cats can hunt at night and many fish can hunt in dark environments, you have the vibrational patterns that happens from the whiskers in cats, and also in human beings, it's the sensations. You are using your extrasensory perceptions. So if you go into a dark room and somebody is attacking you and you are defending yourself, or you are trying to learn the movements of where they are going, you are not using your eyes, are you? So what the bloody hell are you using? You are using your awareness. Your awareness falls into your extrasensory perceptions. When you're in a dark room, you can't be aware of anything. Yes, audible sounds, you may hear sounds as they're moving around, but take away the sounds, there is nothing. You are relying fully and solely on your extrasensory perceptions. This is why a lot of paranormal investigations do really good when they go and they deprive individuals of sight and sound. Your extrasensory perceptions all around become elevated and you start to focus in more. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the auric field, I've mentioned how the auric field operates through the heartbeat, the rhythmic heartbeat. A lot of you will say, well, actually, Jordan, well, what happens to people when they get, I mean, we're going to go into this video in a long, because this needs a video for itself, but you have near-death experiences and all of these NDAs. What you've got to realize is when you go through a near-death experience, your soul has left the body. It's left the human form, my friend. Why has it left? Because the beating heart has stopped. You are now in spirit, whether that be through an accident, whether that be through... Your soul is not allowed to leave your body at its own accord. It can't. Trust us, it would love to leave your body. It hates being... well, I say it hates being. It doesn't hate being. You've got to understand, it's... the function of the soul is to just basically document everything you're doing. So can you imagine how boring that must come? Well, yeah, I know the soul shares your life with you. And I'm not saying you've got a boring life, but it's going to have its fun times and its bad times. But the soul isn't the one having the experience. You're having the experience. Remember, it's that you have the soul, the human, going through the experience, and then we have spirit. So we have 3 different categories to that. There's not really much more to cover in terms of the auric field. I think what we'll do is we'll give you a little exercise now. Remember to let me know down in the comments. I want to see everyone commenting down in the comments. Just anything. It just helps with the push the message of help heal serve. Why don't we do a little bit of a test for each and every one of you to actually be able to see auras? Again, what I like to do is, and the reason why I do this, everything I do is to help mankind to be able to help themselves. I don't do things to flex. I don't do things to massage my ego. I don't do things because I think I'm great. I literally do everything I do to kind of make you think, to give you a bit food for thought. A lot of the time when I read people's auras, people will ask me what that aura color is. And they'll say, what does it mean? And I'll tell them deliberately, go and look it up. And when they look it up, they'll come back and be like, bloody hell, how did you know that about me? How did you know that this? In that there, I could have told them everything, but then it becomes more of me doing all of the work. I like to introduce measures into people's worlds where it becomes your work, not my work. I shouldn't be needing to work harder. You should be working more effectively, more efficiently by some of the practices I give. Therefore, I shouldn't really be working hard. I should be working just normal. Then I should pass over the information and then you should be thinking about it. Then you start work bloody hard. Then you start to learn. Because when people have that light bulb moment and go, how did he know that about me? I don't understand this. I need to work this out. And that's when the intrigue will get you. For this exercise, what I would advise is all to do is to do this on somebody else. I know it's going to be difficult because it's very hard to get people to see the same way as you, or even to feel, if to even feel like they want to participate in it. But what I would recommend each and every one of you to do is to get someone to work alongside of you. If you can't, and it's not an option, you can do this on your own, but it is a little bit more difficult on your own. If you're on your own, you're going to have to stand about, you know, I would say a meter away from the mirror. You want to stand a meter away from the mirror. And if you're going to be with somebody else, then what you want to do is you want to have them standing a couple of centimeters away from a white wall. A white wall is going to be easier, and you want to be a meter away from them. So the subject would be in front of you, a couple of centimeters from the wall, white wall, and you're going to stand a meter away from them. So we're the same distance, whether we're using a mirror or we're using it on an individual. And all you're simply going to do is you're going to forget everything you have been taught in those moments. I don't want you to basically think that you can see things. I don't want you to think, why is it not working? I don't want you to think of what you're having for your tea the next day. What you're going to do is you're going to just simply have your subject, have yourself in the mirror, whatever you're doing. Take a deep inhale. As you're breathing in, you are going to tell yourself, I want to see my aura. Want to see my aura. Hold it for 8 seconds and exhale for 9 seconds. Once you've done that, stare. You want to stare at the bridge of the nose. You want to effectively just lower your gaze and just relax. Don't like that. That's not going to work for you. Just literally, that hurt me neck actually. You're just going to simply just look at it. Gently squint, just relax your eyes. Everything about you at this point should be slowing down. And as you're looking at the human form, you're just going to be ready to receive whatever information you start to see around that person. This may work first time for you. This may work second time for you. This may work for you on the 17th time. Keep trying. It's like everything in mediumship, it comes at a cost. That cost being you, dedication, perseverance, and determination. Not to mention willpower. I hope you've enjoyed that little bit of an exercise. I'd love to know in the comments how many of you have tried it, how many of you succeed with it. Again, that's just like a little bit of a taster for what's coming. We've got loads of exercises we're going to be doing. I'm going to be showing you energy and all sorts. And we'll be going more into NDEs, near-death experiences, staged exits, forced exits, which are different ways that the soul will depart the materialistic plane. Got many different things. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, remember to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thank you to all of the channel members. If you did enjoy this video, check out the videos pinned at the top left and right. And until the next time, bye-bye for now.